On today's episode of Around Town, we'll head to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for a major announcement. Then we'll travel east to see the unveiling of a brand new park in University Circle. Then we'll head to Cleveland City Hall, where we'll witness Mayor Frank Jackson give the oath of office to the new Chief Corporate Counsel, Rhonda Curtis.
Car crashes, accidents. We're telling you
why be next.
So listen to us. Don't drive and text.
Keep Cleveland safe and do not text when you drive.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Key Bank friends. Hey. And good morning, CLE friends. Welcome, welcome. You know, it's an exciting day here at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it's our chance to make a terrific announcement thanks to the support of the Key Bank Foundation. And I'm not going to tell you exactly what that is because we have some honored guests here today that are going to share that with you. But in standing here in front of all of our friends and neighbors from Northeast Ohio, I'm Greg Harris, and I'm the museum CEO and president. And on behalf of everybody here at the museum, and on behalf of the nearly 12 million people that have come to Cleveland from around the world in the last 23 years to experience this museum, to experience Cleveland's hospitality, to get to know our town, I want to say thank you to all of you, whether you're a Cleveland resident or a Key Bank employee, just a member of Northeast Ohio community. We're honored you're here today, and we're grateful for your longstanding support and for this new initiative that we're about to announce today. So thank you all. Joining us today is the Honorable Frank Jackson, Mayor of Cleveland. Key Corp Chairman and CEO Beth Mooney. And Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and Museum Board Chairman Chris Connor. So in April, we announced a $10 million grant from the Key Bank Foundation, the largest philanthropic gift to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in our history. This support helps us in many ways, but first and foremost, it helps reinforce our mission, which is to engage, teach, and inspire through the power of rock and roll. And today, we're pleased to announce what these funds will enable us to do, what they'll support. And to lead us through, please join me in welcoming another remarkable Northeast Ohio supporter. Supporter of the arts, supporter of culture, supporter of health and human services in Cleveland in general, and that's our Hall of Fame Chairman, Chris Connor. Chris?
Thank you, Greg, and let me add my good morning and welcome to all of you. Thanks for being here on this beautiful day. I think when Greg was driving downtown this morning, he was listening to John Fogerty in the old great CCR song, Who Will Stop the Rain? And he called down here and said, hey, let's move this back outside. I don't think it's going to rain this morning. And we said, no, we're set up here, Greg. Just relax. We got this covered. Things at your Rock and Roll Hall of Fame are just going amazingly well over the last several years. Our board is just back from our annual retreat. Once a year, we go to one of the great music cities in our country. This last year, we were in Philadelphia. And inevitably, what happens at these meetings, we gather with other museum leadership in these communities, music leadership. People are always almost irate. How did Cleveland get the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? It should have been in Memphis. It should have been in Philly. All these places want it, but you know what? They don't have it. Cleveland's got the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It is exactly where it needs to be, and this leadership team and board have been remarkable stewards of this important asset to our community. Over the last couple of years, we've been going through a significant remodeling of the facility. If you haven't been here in a number of years, you're going to see a new hall today. There's a new, brand new Hall of Fame floor on the 3rd floor. There's a new Power of Rock exhibit. Being the paint guy in the room, I said, Greg, why don't we paint the thing? And he chose the right color. We got red all over the place here that just works perfectly with our new key logo up there. So it's a vibrant place. We're taking music to the street. We have a whole summer of free concerts outside. We're educating children. It's just going so terrific. And just when we thought it couldn't get any better, along comes the Key Bank Foundation, Margot and her team, and this enormous, remarkable gift. We can't tell you how honored, humbled, thrilled we are. This is an absolute game changer for this museum. This will change our projection, our ability to interact with this great city, and it's all because of the generosity of this great company. Please join me in welcoming the Chairman and CEO of Key Bank, Ms. Beth Mooney. Thank you. You are the best.
You are. Thank you, Chris, for those words, and Greg, and I approve. Paint the town red. I think that's a grand idea. And thanks all of you for being here this morning. To walk in at 9 o'clock in the morning and get to start dancing to Bruce Springsteen and Carole King, that's a good start to a Saturday, and I concur. Logistically, let's just leave it inside. We got it covered. And I want you to know that I'm here on behalf of my Key Bank colleagues, 18,000 strong from Maine to Alaska, but home is Cleveland, Ohio. And so I'm pleased to be here today to commit our continued support and our continued partnership with the Rock Hall of Cleveland. And I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the Eric Everett Jazz Band in the back. And I need to let you know that Eric Everett of the Eric Everett Jazz Band, the guy with the tie, it's an occupational hazard. He's one of our Key Bank teammates. And I would tell you that the spirit of philanthropy, of volunteerism, of community support, of helping our clients and our communities thrive runs deep at Key Bank. And we've been here and supported for decades. Actually, we've been in this community for 175 years. Every time I look at Lake Erie, I always say we were here when the ships steamed across Lake Erie as they hung the lights all those years ago, and we stand here today with our commitment. We have done things across this community that I think really evidence what we're trying to do to help make our home better for all of us. So 23 years ago, the doors opened on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it was the beginning of a renaissance, not just for rock and roll, but for the city of Cleveland. And what I like the most is the backstory, the story behind the ribbon cutting, the story behind the glitz, because as Chris Connor said, we were the underdog. And lots of people were scratching their head about how did Cleveland, Ohio get the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And as we stand here today, it is a national icon and a local treasure that is right here in our hometown. And as you said, 12 million visitors over the years have come to Cleveland to experience this great facility, but most importantly, its collections and the spirit of rock and roll. So I'm proud to be here today in my hometown of Cleveland, Ohio, and say that we've supported the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for many years with different kinds of partnerships and events and summer series and so forth. So for 23 years, we've been here. But we stand here today with a $10 million gift. But its purpose is what makes my heart sing, no pun intended. We are here to say that that $10 million will support what is called CLE VIP, which is free access for 10 years for all Cleveland residents to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Okay, how cool is that? Yeah, I'm thinking so. But it is true. The opportunity for the residents of Cleveland to be able to experience, learn, share, and explore is so important. And so we wanted our gift to be about access to this icon of ours. We're also endowing the Hall of Fame Gallery, which will give the opportunity to make sure that it's a beautiful new gallery. I hope you get a chance to see it, but the legends of rock and roll will be showcased up there, and it's surrounded by all that red paint. We like it. And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce a gentleman who needs no introduction, but it is our esteemed Mayor, Frank Jackson, a lifelong Clevelander who is here with us today. He cares passionately about this city and has served us so well. And thank you, Mayor, for being here today to celebrate this wonderful Cle VIP free access.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you, thank you. You know, I want to congratulate the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Museum for being the recipient of this gift, but also and mostly want to thank Key Bank. Key Bank for, as Ms. Mooney mentioned, not just this particular gift, but for all the work, the philanthropic work that they do throughout Cleveland and the greater Cleveland area. So again, congratulations and thank you very much to Beth Mooney, Key Bank. You know, I as mayor, I'm a homebody, I guess, but as mayor, I do have an opportunity now and then to go to other parts of the country and even the world. And I was talking to someone earlier, and I was saying when I'm going to other parts of the country or world, there are three things that people mention about Cleveland: the Cleveland Orchestra, the Cleveland Clinic, and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Museum. And so it is not a national icon, it's an international icon. And as was mentioned, there are 12 million people who've come through these doors over the existence of this museum. And not every Clevelander needs to take advantage of this grant and this program, but there are many, many, many Clevelanders who would not be able to visit this icon that is recognized nationally and internationally, but for the donation of Key Bank and Ms. Mooney. So again, I want to congratulate the museum and thank you very much, Ms. Mooney and Key Bank. Thank you.
I'll bring us home and then we'll do that. Bring it home. It's pretty exciting to follow those three because their passion for Cleveland, but their passion for people is really incredibly important. And here at the museum, that's the exciting part about this. You know, we are a building with great stories, with great artifacts, with great exhibits, but we're also a gathering place. And all of those things are enjoyed by people. When there's a band playing out, when there's a band out front on our plaza, and that will happen 60 days this summer, it's people that are enjoying it. When you're in here enjoying this, it's people that enjoy this. And all of this is an extension of our regular guest service experience. So we're really thrilled to partner with Key to deliver on this. Come down and come often, Cleveland residents. When you do, you're going to be welcomed as family because this is your museum. It wouldn't be here without the support of Cleveland. People fought to get it here 20-something years ago. When you come in, we're going to welcome you. You're going to receive this identifying piece. And if you're thirsty, stop in our store. Like you would when you arrive at a relative's house, we're giving everybody a cold drink when they arrive if they'd like one. That's part of this program too. So make sure you take advantage of that. And we're excited to do this with Key because our relationship with Key goes back to the very founding of our museum. Even before the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was built, Key Bank was supporting this initiative. They've supported our programs, our concerts, our activities throughout our entire life. And this is going to continue far into the future. So we're honored, we're thrilled. And again, without the Cleveland community, our museum would not be here. And you could say that without supporters like Key Bank in those early days, the museum would not be here. We're now joining them together to experience this great place that you all built, created, and sustained together. So thank you all very, very much for doing this, for being part of it today. To continue this celebration, we're going to cut a ribbon up here that is a symbolic ribbon that starts this program. This program doesn't start next month or next week. It starts today. Anybody that walks up here today with their Cleveland resident, they're in free. And it's going to stay that way for the next 10 years. So joining us, pardon me. So joining us to cut this ribbon, in addition to the Honorable Frank Jackson, to Chairman Chris Connor, and to KeyBank Chairman Beth Mooney, I'm really honored to welcome Margot Copeland, who's the Chair and CEO of the KeyBank Foundation. Margot? Dennis Devine, who's the Community Bank President for KeyBank and a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame trustee. Dennis? And Caprice Bragg, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's Vice President of Development and External Affairs. Caprice? So we're going to cut this ribbon. When we do, there's a great band that's going to take the stage, and they are from the Cleveland Municipal Schools. It's a band called Montage. They're the winner of the 2018 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Tri-C Rock-Off. Montage. Local kids playing music in a community treasure that's being supported by a great corporation. What a great combination. Once we do that, this red carpet's going to be open. Anybody that's here as a Cleve VIP, walk our red carpet, experience our museum, have a great day here. There's family events, there's food, there's other things happening. And then don't be strangers. Come back. Tell your friends and neighbors, we want to welcome you here. Thank you all for being part of this, and thank you to KeyBank and Mayor Jackson. It's an honor.
It's a beautiful afternoon to be celebrating our new park here across from Judson Manor. Thank you all for being here on this gorgeous day. And I just want to also welcome Dr. Anthony Everett, who is newly in charge of the United Church Methodist Church next to us. And where did I lose him? There we go. Welcome to the community and part of our neighborhood. Officially as of July 1st, right? Mm-hmm. Thank you for joining us today. So I wanted to get started by many of you already know that Ginny Havens and George Havens recently were acknowledged with the Stephanie Tubbs Jones Neighborhood Leadership Award through University Circle Incorporated. And we are so proud of all of their efforts, really bringing this new garden space to life. They've made significant contributions to University Circle and Northeastern Ohio all around, and we appreciate that, Ginny and George. Thank you. Ginny said she wanted to make this a people's park. Really, this park is for everyone. It has become such a beautiful centerpiece, accessible to our Judson Manor residents and the community, and it has brought so much more life to the neighborhood, and we appreciate that. And Ginny is even out here on a daily basis looking to continually maintain this park. And I saw her out here with her gloves and her shovel the other day working, and we so much appreciate all of your efforts really towards this amazing project. We also want to thank Mayor Jackson and Jim McKnight for being here, who made this as well possible, and our mayor will be speaking to us in just a moment. As well as Steve Rubin from Midwest Partners, who worked on the architectural design and landscaping, so let's give him a round of applause as well. I now am going to turn it over to Mayor Frank Jackson to say a few words.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you. It is good afternoon. I can remember, I don't know, was it 2-3 years ago?
Oh, here, you can come off, too.
Okay.
If it's too low here, that's fine.
I can remember 2 or 3 years ago, I got a call from Ms. Havens, and Judge G. Merrill Capers. And one of the things they wanted to talk about was what was going to happen with this property over here. And then I contacted Director Cox, who's the director of Public Works. And he informed me that there was some money available and that we were going to do a renovation of this area. And then we included Ms. Havens and then the building in the design of this park. But that just goes to show you that without her interest and without her expressing her interest, this probably wouldn't look the way it looks today. And so she made this happen. She really did. She made it happen. She put the work in, and it's really part of that community effort that we need in government in order to make us respond in the proper way to what the community desires and needs. So with that in mind, what we're doing is, as we want to dedicate this park, and we found no other name that would be appropriate other than Virginia C. Havens Park. So this is like a little mock-up that I'll be giving to Miss Havens so she can keep. But Director Cox will have the real sign. When will it be installed? 2 weeks? Yeah, about a couple of weeks we'll get it installed. I don't know where it will be, but it will be in the park, and it will be the Virginia C. Haven Park. Thank you very much.
All right. That's right, George. Just a few. I rather impromptu. I want to thank Mayor Jackson always for being here in the neighborhood and being such a wonderful, wonderful leader of all the neighborhoods throughout the city of Cleveland. So thanks, Mayor, for always being here for us. And wow, congratulations, the Virginia C. Havens Park. It has a great sound to it. I was asking Valerie on the way in, what's it going to be called? We just got the answer. It will be on the map very soon, the Virginia C. Havens Park. My role, because we did have an opportunity, and thank you for hosting us last week, Kendra, to have a great meeting at UCI in your building this past week where we did, as was mentioned, honor both Virginia and George as the Stephanie Tubbs-Jones Neighborhood Leadership Awardees for 2018. And I know Stephanie would be proud of what's happening here today. Lived in the neighborhood on Wade Park and always looked over this neighborhood as a second home in University Circle and also her Glenville home. So we are grateful for your work. And I guess at risk of being redundant from last week, also feel that it is your advocacy tirelessly on all things around University Circle that lead to things like this. For those who weren't there, I mentioned how often I get notes, calls from Virginia who's been on a walk, maybe with George, maybe you're back with the dog, just walking the neighborhood, but speaking to police officers, speaking to students, speaking to faculty and workers about things that should happen, could happen here, and things do happen because of her advocacy. She is one that's been known on occasion, and I can say this because we confirmed this last week, to drop a scarf on Stephanie Tubbs-Jones's statue at 108th in East Boulevard. And it's a warm gesture that means we care, and it's become contagious, and many others do the same thing winter after winter. It's because you care, Virginia Havens, that Mayor Jackson very, very deservedly to you named this park in your honor that we will now carry in perpetuity as the Virginia C. Havens Park. I am reminded, I do have to say, of that quote you all know, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. Margaret Mead, it feels that way today, that your advocacy for both big picture and small details pays off here today in the park. And I know Judson has beautiful views on what once was the Fine Arts Lagoon and Wade Park. We knew that you had that view, and then you got the Nord Greenway view just a few weeks ago, and now you have this view right at your front door in Havens Park, and it's beautiful that you can just walk across the street and be the good stewards. I want to say one other thing. I also was telling somebody on a tour about this story last week about how Virginia Havens was the advocate to get this park done, and lo and behold, as we came around 107th Street on tour, she was out here tending the place, so we'll see her often. One last thing, I'd be remiss, if I didn't say also thank you to Mayor Jackson, thank you to Steve Rubin, who helped finance this, thank you to Jim McKnight, who helped design this, and finally, to reiterate and redouble our commitment, UCI is going to work with the City of Cleveland on the fountain in the park that will be central to this park as a gathering space, as water features always do. So we're going to work on that in this year to come. And as drinks have been, I was prolonging this intentionally until you had a drink in your hand. But now that it seems we have a near critical mass, and hopefully you're getting them around the park here, let's say to both havens, to George and notably to Virginia, again, that advocacy, that tireless work behind the scenes to bring great things in small places that matter to the people of the city of Cleveland and to this neighborhood. Here's to Virginia Havens in Havens Park today. Hear, hear.
Today we're here to swear in Ms. Rhonda Curtis as Chief Corporate Counsel for the City of Cleveland. Ms. Curtis came to the City of Cleveland in 2005 and has been the city's Chief Assistant Director of Law since 2006. In that time, she was responsible for our House Counsel section of the Law Department and served as legal counsel to our Office of Capital Projects, Department of Finance, Human Resources, and Aging, and also City Council, as well as several of our other boards and commission. Prior to that, Ms. Curtis served as both an assistant and interim director of law for the City of East Cleveland. She's a member of the Cleveland Municipal Metropolitan Bar Association and was a past chair of the government attorney section. She is also a program advisory council member for the North Central University School of Business and Technology. Ms. Curtis holds an associate degree from Community College, Cuyahoga Community College, a Bachelor of Science from Dyke College, and Juris Doctorate degree from Cleveland State University, Cleveland Marshall Law School. Are you ready? Okay. All right, raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Rhonda Curtis,
Do solemnly swear.
do solemnly swear
I will support the Constitution of the United States,
I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of
the
Ohio,
codified ordinances
codified ordinances,
and charter
and charter
of the City of Cleveland,
of the City of
that I
Cleveland,
will honestly,
and I will honestly
impartially,
and impartially
and faithfully
and faithfully
discharge the duties of
discharge the duties of
Chief Corporate Counsel,
Chief Corporate Counsel
State of Ohio,
of the State of Ohio
during my continuance in said office.
during my continuance in said office.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. And I also want to thank Director Barbara Lang Henry for affording me this opportunity. As the Mayor indicated, I started working for the Law Department 13 years ago, and it has truly been an interesting and rewarding experience. I feel extremely fortunate to work with a great team of lawyers and support staff who each day come to work and work diligently to address the many questions and issues presented to the Law Department by our clients, by city residents, and by other municipalities or governmental agencies. And so, I don't like to make speeches. I know how busy everyone is, but I do want to say thank you to everyone for being here today. I really appreciate you taking the time out to show your support for me. I want to thank my family for being here. Getting emotional. My daughters, my mother, my sister-in-law, who, always, I can always count on their support. And again, I want to thank the Mayor and Director Lang Henry for placing your trust in me. I look forward to the challenges that this new role will bring, and I will work hard to fulfill the responsibilities of the office. Thank you.